Hi, so in my last few videos I've been looking at the connection between your bite, how your teeth come together, and eyesight, and talking about some new research that has been done showing that link. Now for my part, my bite actually varies quite a bit throughout the day, and so does my eyesight. So I've been working a bit further with this to see if I can stabilise anything. So sometimes when you haven't got a very good bite, or sometimes for other reasons, people can put, or the orthodontist, the dentist can put a splint in your teeth. So a splint, this is an example of a splint. You put them over your teeth. So a mouth guard that rugby players use, or football players use if you're in America, that's a splint. It keeps your mouth in one position, it protects your teeth, what have you. Sometimes they can help with people if they got a torticollis where the neck tends to twist, and if they can insert a splint to keep the teeth apart, that actually helps with the torticollis and makes it easier to manage. So I thought I'd experiment with this a little myself. Now what I found, unfortunately, when I got these was that I mean, now these are from a year, quite a few years ago now actually, was that I don't have that much space in my mouth to begin with. So I was really unable to keep up with them for very long. However, the good news is that my teeth have retained their shape, which I am so pleased about. So something that is so big in my mouth just wouldn't be a good idea, because the problems are being caused by there really isn't enough space. Despite having had dental work which has really hugely improved the problem, but I didn't have really that much space to start with, so it's what you got to work with at the end of the day. So I used, I think this is gardening wire, so I bent it into, if we can see, let's put it on here. There we go. I bent it into that shape so it can clip over a tooth, and I made two of them, obviously one each side, and I wrapped them in cling film, and then I just pop them in and they sit over the bottom teeth. Now obviously you really don't want to be getting up and doing stuff or walking around or going out or anything like that, if you've got anything like that in your mouth, for obvious reasons. You've only got to fall over something and it's immediately dangerous. But I did want to see what the general effect would be, and obviously because what I've done in wrapping the cling foil around is obviously to create a little bit of padding so that it keeps my teeth apart a little bit. What I found immediately was there was just a lot more space. I was a lot more comfortable. My tongue actually naturally floated up to the top of my mouth. That's where it's supposed to be, without me trying to make it sit there all day. So that was a plus. I don't know how it would be over the long term. You know, I just tried one size really, so I didn't try scaling it up or down to see if there was an optimum. I mean, I certainly did see I was immediately a lot more comfortable. Did I notice changes in vision? A little bit. It's hard to say because, you know, it was the end of the day. It wasn't, you know, I hadn't made it completely optimal, and I was having to clench down just a little to actually hold them in my mouth. So it wasn't a perfect experiment. I think it would actually help, but obviously I would want something like more this shape if I was going to, you know, be able to get one. Something that once you put it in would actually stay in your mouth and not fly out if it got a knock or anything like that. So yeah, but this does really tie in with the whole what your bite is like, how that affects your eyesight. So when my mouth is sitting together like this, my teeth actually come over each other like this quite deeply at the front. So what happens is, once I shake my jaw a bit loose and I let it drop just a little bit and fall back, yeah, my eyesight changes immediately. It does become much longer, and at the same time I'm in a more natural position for me. So my very first pair ever of glasses that actually worked, they weren't pluses, they were actually prisms, and they were down base prisms, so the base, the thickest part was here. And probably what that did, because it made me raise my head a little bit and hold the image a bit further away. But by raising my head, what probably happened is that I was able to relax my jaw a little bit and to let it fall. I won't say backwards, but because mine has a tendency to come forwards to make space. So to let it fall naturally a little bit back and to let it fall down a bit. And that is like when I noticed that I was getting long-sighted when I had those glasses, probably because I was naturally changing my posture for the better there. And what I've noticed at other times is, say if I put on a pair of the next diopter up, what would happen would be I'd like suddenly relax, and probably my jaw would relax as well, and then suddenly for a brief moment I'd be able to see perfectly through them, and obviously I'd as soon as I tense my mouth again, then it would go. So you know, they've been, I can give you a few other examples of that. Say if I'm going up the stairs, or if I look up and then and then suddenly look at something closer, because I've suddenly relaxed my face, it means I've suddenly relaxed my eyes and things actually go a bit fuzzy once they come into the close distance. So basically what I want to do is to follow up with this and see if I can get something that I can try out a bit more with, you know, something that would be safer to wear when I'm out and about, just to see what can happen, because certainly if I'm going to be tested at the optician, then I should be tested under the same conditions as everyone else. So if everyone else is sitting there with a stable bite and mine is going haywire every time I look through the autorefractor, or, you know, when I'm sitting in the chair, literally because I'm trying to make enough space to actually breathe, you know, that if that is affecting my eyesight, then that it shouldn't be like that. So really I want to get a splint, certainly before I see an optician again, and to be tested with it in, because an optician will ask you, do you have any medical conditions? Because sometimes it can be relevant, sometimes the medication can actually change your eyesight. Diabetes is an obvious one, because that can harm your eyesight, so they need to check for that. But sometimes I think some antidepressants can make you a bit shorter sighted. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that can be the case. So obviously they need to know about things like that. But your dental work apparently can affect your vision. There has been research done on it, and I've talked about that. I mean, this is the second lot of serious research that's been done on it. So, yeah, obviously if it affects your eyesight, it's relevant when you go into the eye exam, and it should be taken into consideration. And, you know, everyone should have the same conditions for being examined as much as possible. So yeah, that is that side of it. Also, I do generally want to get a splint to see if it makes me a bit more comfortable generally, to see if it actually stabilizes my vision, to help with my posture, because, you know, whilst I'm keeping my jaw so tight, you know, that's not really great for your neck and your back and what have you. So that's a good reason to try one out. And also I do have a bit of, I mean, I haven't been so bothered by it since I've had my teeth done and, you know, made improvements to my glasses. But I do have a bit of a turn because of probably because of my teeth, because if they were lining up properly, then my eyes would also line up as well. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Please like, subscribe, and hope to see you in my next video.